spent 30 years.
Wow.
And in the midst of those 30 years, I finally accepted my calling into the ministry a year into my engineering career in Dothan, Alabama. And one of the things I wrote, Anthony and Terry, about getting in your lane as soon as you can, because I missed some opportunities with my father.
Wow.
If I had gotten in this lane a lot sooner, there's no telling where I would be right now. You know what I'm saying? And so the danger we face when we don't get in the lane and we climb the wrong mountain, which the challenge I'm doing now, the danger you face, you slow down your progress.
Welcome to another episode of the Brothers Who Talk with Terry and AD. This podcast is about men talking about everyday shenanigans, the stuff that makes us mad, to the topics that concern why in the world do these guys have a podcast. Let's get to it.
Hey, we back in the building. So if you are in here, if you are on a watch party, if you are watching on Charm City Direct TV, if you're watching on Facebook, on my personal Facebook page, please share the broadcast out, because our numbers don't grow if you don't share it. So you know, it's free. Right. You won't get a bill in the mail, nothing like that. So make sure you tap your screen, do the heart and all the emojis.
So know that our numbers don't grow if you don't show. So just, gotta represent. You like that, right? I just dropped right down in me right there.
Drop the mic. I mean, okay. You could have said. So today's broadcast, you guys, listen, we have, let me turn my thing down. All right, because I'm always doing something. All right, what's up, E Digger? Shout out to E Digger, man. And the whole bunch of crew, Lisa and Ashley and everybody. Today's episode, we have a great show for you guys. So make sure you buckle up, because the funny is coming. I promise you. If you haven't listened to it yet, the funny coming.
Oh yeah. That's
our
whole nother level.
Our special co-host on today is none other than my brother from another mother.
Yes.
Dr. Sims. We're gonna bring him on in a sec. But I want to give you guys a little bit of background on Dr. Sims. Dr. Sims is my mentor. He has been my mentor since 2016. He has he changed my life without even knowing it. What's up, E Digger? And so this show today is just in homage to who he has been in my life and to who he could be in your life, or anyone else that's listening and needs a life coach or what have you. But we're gonna get into that in a second. So I want everybody to welcome Dr. Sims. Everybody say hey real quick. When he goes through the edit, he'll put the tapping sounds in there. So we got Dr. Walker Sims in the building. So today is our special guest host on the show. So before we get started, how was your week? We do this every week. AD, how was your week, man?
It's good. Still living in the quarantine life.
Yeah.
With kids at home, no school. Out of school, but in school,
out of school, in school.
Right. Still navigating that. Yes, it's crazy. I don't know how the end of this year is gonna go, but just gotta take it as it comes. But it's all good in the hood. No complaints. Wife, all of us as well. So just staying safe.
Not the same.
Keeping the dogs quiet. Go ahead.
How are you, sir?
Hey, you know what? First of all, let me just say good morning to all of your listeners and our followers. What's up, AD? What's up, Terry Little? It's all good in the neighborhood. My 30-day challenge is going well. Our online Bible study, online church is going well. I got hired by a couple of people this week. We selling books. We having fun playing Madden, eating good. I had to walk 2 days this week because the Lord is enlarging my territory. Indeed. Yo, I'm just so thankful to have Dr. Sims on. Like I said, and I'm gonna get into a little bit more background with Dr. Sims. Dr. Sims, like I said, when I was going through a place in my life where it was dark and I didn't know where I was going, and I had just broke up with my girlfriend and I didn't know what I was doing, and I was just sitting on the edge of my couch, on the edge of my couch, lost. And Pastor Sims came on one day. If those of you who are old school and remember the
the app, and then people still use it, and we still go on live on Brothers of Legacy. But Periscope, the app, that's owned by Twitter. One of the social apps that you can go live on.
Mm-hmm.
He came across my screen one night. I know we'll forget it. He came across my screen one night, and I was like, "Who this dude?" That's the first thing I said. Who this dude? And who this dude? And so I sat there and I listened, and he played an encouraging song, and I sat there and I was kind of hooked, and I was like, "Who is it?" And he said something encouraging the very first time he opened his mouth to me, and I was like, "Okay, that was for me." And in that moment of unclarity, in that moment of darkness, I said, "Okay, God, I hear you."
Amen.
And so after that, I did not miss a single broadcast of the first church of Periscope, pastored by Dr. Walter Sims. So that is who is on my right. AD apparently jumped ship on me. I guess I hope he's doing that. But you, sir, have been, you are, words can't describe what you were or are to me. I can't put it in the word. I could try to, but I'm gonna spend 30 minutes trying to figure it out, and there's just not enough time, for all that. Amen. But there's so many. You were everything. Like I went right when and that's the message that I want to send to everybody real quick before we get started here, is that right when you believe there's nothing else left, right when you believe that God has just left you out in the cold, forsaken you and all that, God will always bring a voice. God will always bring someone. Wow. And for me, that voice, I owe who I am and where I am in my life to you. Well, God first, then you. So just so you understand the magnitude of who you are, and don't think that just because you do this and you may not get all the recognition, you might not be on, but know that for one person, me, you changed my life. I just want you to know that right off the bat. All right, so before we get into
it, can I say what I meant? Go ahead, mine ain't as deep though. Y'all ain't about to cry, but I'm just saying I got a little story.
Hey, y'all excuse me. That my allergies.
His allergies.
But now I just remember watching Dr. Sims, the Smile Doctor. He would come on with his online church, and I remember. And if you know about Periscope, they give out badges. When you have a certain amount of audience and your growth. And I remember the day he got his badge, and he was, excited, and he was thankful, and I was like, oh, you can see it's genuine, not just like, yeah, it's what I do. I get badges, He was thankful for his growth, and he was thankful for those that had contributed and being there for him. So I've always liked Dr. Sims because he was always genuine, in his delivery. So I appreciate you. And this is an honor just to have you on the show.
Yeah, it absolutely.
I'm humble, guys. I'm just really thankful to be here.
Awesome. All right. Go ahead, Terry.
We're gonna get to the good part. We're gonna get to the meat. While you got not the meat yet.
No, not yet.
The first thing that we're gonna go through is the news, you guys. The couple of things that we're gonna talk about. The first thing, let me pull up my banners here so I make sure I do my stuff right. Where is it? There it is. All right, so we're going to get into now. Everything that I talk about or mention in the news is powered by CNN.com. So, regardless of what President Trump say, they are not fake news.
Listen. They just like to take something and hold on to it for a long time. Just a long time.
Just ride with it.
We're good.
The first piece of news today is that I'm not sure if you guys understand and know this, but today is YouTube's first upload anniversary.
Wow.
15 years ago today.
Wow.
What's that young man's name? I get it here in a minute.
How about that?
His name
that's awesome. That's awesome.
His name was Jawed Kareem. He did a video, an 18-second video.
Right.
Wow.
Me at the Zoo.
How about that? How about that?
And he took it, and that video is still up on YouTube, so you guys can go. It's got about 90 million views.
Years. Wow,
15 years ago. Yes. And Mr. Jawed Kareem did one video. That's the only video he has done on his channel. Why? He doesn't need to. You want to know why? Because he sold YouTube to Google for a whopping 1.9 billion with a B.
Billion.
Wow.
Yes.
So shout out to Jawed Kareem.
What I will say is, though that 1.9 billion is
I'm sorry, it's 1.6. I'm sorry.
1.6. Oh man. But I would say Google still got it for a deal.
It is.
That's true.
I mean, 1 point. It's great. Now that'd be nice to be in my bank account, but if he stuck with it, I think he got a lot more, or had something like Facebook even greater.
Oh,
that's true. That's true.
He was 18, bro. I mean,
was he 18? Oh,
yeah. He was a youngin.
Yeah.
He was a youngin.
Yeah.
But still, 1.6. I wonder what he's doing now. That's the question. I wonder what he's
doing. Need to Google him.
That's right.
Let's Google.
Yeah. So, and speaking of what in the world, we was reading a story this morning on CNN.com. There was a group of black women who went golfing up in Pennsylvania back in 2018, and they went to a golf course, and the golf course management decided to call the cops because they were playing too slow.
My goodness.
On the golf course. So now they're suing for racial discrimination. Do you think they're going to win that case?
It's I would say it depends on the stated rules. You know, if there's an actual written time limit, you know, granted, sometimes we're targeted for specific rules, but if there's a rule in place, then they may not win. You know,
well, I'm a golfer.
Yeah. Okay.
And the speed of play is subjective. It just because it's dependent on so many variables. How many people are playing?
Right.
What is the president? Do you call the cops on other ethnicities that are playing? You know what I'm saying? So the long and short of my answer would be, guys, I think it is going to play in her favor because they probably have never done anything like that. You know what I'm saying? And so she probably stands a real good chance of winning this litigation.
Right.
You know what? I would almost agree with you, but according to the policy from the golf course, they were out of policy. They didn't. They weren't playing a policy. So to your point, you know what I'm saying, it's certain limits.
Right.
That hey, Lise, so D, in certain limits. Right. They're not going by the limits. So according to the lawsuit and the response from the golf course, they were out of policy. So it could get a little tricky.
But if they can prove that other people were out of policy and didn't get the police call on them,
that's an easy rabbit to chase, because all you got to look and see how many times did you call the police in the past for so play. If that number is 0,
give me all. Can I get all of my money in ones? I want to club later. So yeah, that's the news that I have, and it's really crazy that society and she's just now. This was 2 years ago, and now the lawsuit is just coming to fruition. So I don't know if they're out of policy. These golf courses, man, these businesses are really finding loopholes now to get out of paying all this money. So just be careful with what you're doing. It's right.
That's right.
Now, speaking of.
You look like you got something on your face, so you know, like sometimes in life things go on.
Speaking of what off,
yes. What's making you mad? What's making you mad?
So we are next. Tell them why you're mad.
Tell them why you're mad.
So this week's episode, our guest of honor will go first, because that's what we do. Tell them why you're mad.
Man, you know what? When you in the pre-production time that we have. When you asked me, when you told me that we're gonna have this segment, I was like, where do I even start? The only thing I want to talk about, and the thing that made me mad this week, is our government and several governments have been on this, for the lack of a better word, since I've been talking about choosing faith over fear, they've been on this whole fear campaign, trying to keep everybody and educate everybody. We need to be safe. # alone together, sheltered in place, stay at home, don't go out if you don't have to. So that campaign has been successful. Now, today, tomorrow, they want to flip the script and turn the tide and tell certain communities, y'all can go back out, do what you need to do, go back to your essential business, business as usual. Now 90% of the populace is like, we ain't going nowhere. You have told us for the last X number of days that we need to be socially distant. We need to only go out if necessary. You have put curfews in place. You have really kind of made everybody's life stop. Now you want to hit the go button. Okay, everybody, y'all go back out. It's all good.
It's all good. It's all good.
So that's the only thing that's got me and my followership. Everybody scratching your head, and then why are you only targeting some areas that, let's say, that may not be as what's a good kind word I want to use?
Black.
Why not? And we were talking about this last night. Why not open back up California, New York?
Right.
Yeah.
So when that kind of burns me up a little bit, because I was talking in Bible study last night. God even kind of gets angry when we abuse power, money, and religion.
Right.
So I talked about that last night. So this was a great segment for me to jump in, because I just talked about it last night. Jesus was so frustrated that he overturned the money changers' tables in the Gentile court. And he got angry, he got mad. And so there's a little righteous indignation with me, because at the end of the day, you see what the motivation is. Is it money, or is it the health of our community?
Right.
So
Right. And
Like mad about that. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. It is. And honestly, that you took the words right out of my mouth, because that's what I'm mad at too this week. Like that is crazy how, and someone mentioned, these stimulus checks are coming, and now we have an opportunity to spend it, in these businesses, because they're opening up the state. Yeah. And it's like, you're right, shelter in place. Oh no, now it's good now. like how is this good, just automatic, and the numbers haven't like dramatically declined.
Okay.
If the numbers dramatically declined, then it would have more meaning. They were like, you're showing, even if they were lying, this is what we looking at them like,
that's right.
It looks like we're doing better. You got it under control. It's all good. Let's go outside.
Let's go outside and play.
Let's go outside and play. But it doesn't show that. It's not reflecting that. The CDC is not reflecting that. Dr. Fauci's like, you're tripping. Right. You need to stay in the house. So I don't feel like it's for our good to go back into the community. And I know with how this is kind of a dividing line, I feel bad for some of the pastors, like in their churches, and I'm sure some of them are getting calls like, he said it's good to open up, and you're thinking like, no, So and either way, it's like you're darned if you do, if you're darned if you don't, it's making a decision. So my heart definitely goes out to pastors in this atmosphere, because now the state said it's fine, and now you're like, I don't know, I don't want to put my members at risk.
That's right. And that's another hat that I wear. Terry alluded to it, and you alluded to it a few minutes ago. I have an online ministry. I have a physical ministry. And what I'm going to tell my deacon today, as a matter of fact, after this broadcast, we'll just start first Sunday in May, because if we go back now, I believe, and this is just my belief, I believe we'll be okay. But again, some of my members are older. And so as a good leader, I'm just going to say that we'll continue this online format until the first Sunday in May because we miss each other. And even that Sunday before everything shut down, we were like, what do you do with your hands? We were elbowing. And some of my members said, forget that. I want to hug my pastor. Right. And so I believe it is a trying time. And again, another quick thing that really upsets me and frustrates me, the numbers really don't support the magnitude of the fear that they perpetuate. Gotcha. Because Dr. Drew, and whether or not these guys is another conversation, but Dr. Drew watched the video on YouTube, and Dr. Drew frustrated that media did such a bad job trying to purport the crisis. They did not really put it and present it in it wouldn't cause fear. You can look at it both ways.
Yeah.
And I'm going to talk about vocation. So if you look at the numbers versus how many people we have in this whole world, the needle doesn't even move. So if they have purported it from that position, we wouldn't even be here. So man, I'm okay.
Well, you know, and I feel both of you guys, but that's not what made me mad this week.
We got you mad, son. We got you mad, son.
My children. I'm gonna tell you what they did.
Drum roll.
Now, my sweet mother-in-law bought the kids a trampoline, right?
Let's go home.
And it's a trampoline with the net, the safety net or whatever, and they have the pole to hang the net up, you know, so they won't fall off the trampoline. And it's mainly for TJ, he's 3, it's for his safety. Why can't we have anything nice? Why do you gotta tear stuff up? So the poles that hold the net up, they done knocked and broke like 3 of them. So now we got the hood trampoline in our backyard because they can't keep the net up.
Oh Lord!
And I'm like,
y'all didn't buy the kid-proof trampoline. It wasn't kid-proof.
Apparently not. And it's got this styrofoam like around the pole. I mean, so 3 of the poles are hanging on the trampoline like they gangster leaning. The net is all down, so the baby can't even get on there and jump properly. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you can't have nothing nice. You go into the hood, man, and you see this trampoline, just the pole, the net actually on the actual trampoline, so the kids jumping around the net, so you won't get caught in the net. They gonna leave stuff
Hey, Terry, that's an export, man. Y'all gotta protect that, and only us can jump on a trampoline that's got a gangster lean.
You know what I'm saying? That trampoline is made in China, I guess. I don't know. I'm so upset by that. Like, come on.
Wow.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog.
You can't have nothing nice.
You're like, come on, man.
Where's Lil Boozy with you? Oh my God, tired of Lil Boozy. That's what got me mad this week. That's what got me mad this week.
Wow.
You ever see like hold on before you move on. You ever like with your kids, you give them something and they tear it up and you look at it like, how in the world did you do that to this? Like, how did you get it to do that? Like,
hey, they need to be working for somebody's quality control. They need a job.
Right.
I'm about to come to work.
Wow. Oh man!
But what they do is, when I caught was that
they're hanging on it
like the WWE.
Oh yeah,
so they throw each other on the ropes and stuff,
right. And then they jump. They probably jump on it and then land on each other. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you want to
listen. I told you when you had it because Terry has it kind of close to the house.
Yeah.
So if you can somehow you can get on the roof. Like there's a way to get up on the roof. I guess easy. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Dr. Sims. You already know. He tells them not to. I told him, I said, yeah, if I was your child, I would have been one of them fools and jumped right on. Oh,
hey, that's an episode of ridiculousness. I know. That's an episode of ridiculousness, you know?
Over the fence. On to the man.
I tell you, I don't know, man. I was so upset. I'm still upset about it.
I know.
It's like go out my backyard and I look at it.
That's the worst. Like, every time you see it, you get mad again.
Yeah, and the pole
Terry, I know what you said when you walked out that door and you saw that for the first time. I know what you said. You spoke in tongues, didn't you? You like,
you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I spoke in tongues, but it wasn't the Christian ones. It's just like
that's what I'm talking about, Terry.
Right.
Come on, like the poles are just chilling, like on the feet. They like this. Definitely like.
Okay.
And they go out there, they go out and jump on like it ain't nothing.
That's how you do what? I don't care if it's broken. I'll work my way around it. I'll work around it.
That made my day. That made my day, Terry.
Look who decided to walk in on me. Look at this.
Look at you.
Oh, look at him.
He got his tablet. He is straight chilling. He does not have a care in the world. Anyway,
not a care in the world.
This is the reason why you guys came in today. This is the reason why we're here. We are interviewing the man of the hour. Man. On my right hand side, up in the corner, Mr. Dr. Walter Sims. I can't talk today. What's going on? Dr. Walter Sims, who, like I said, has been a mainstay, a mentor in my life. And so we're going to spend a few minutes talking to Dr. Sims.
Yes.
Right? So, AD, you got something prepared? It sounded like you did. You researching a little bit.
I had a few things prepared.
A few things prepared.
A few things I wanted to ask my brother here.
Let's start
so
let's do it.
We know you to introducing Dr. Walter Sims. He is the man of the hour. Or the man of the half hour.
Goes by fast.
So I know you're an author, right? And so how many books do you have? Because I remember you showing it on your before you preach, you have it listed, and it looks like you have quite a few books. How many books do you have currently?
Great question, and I just happen to have a couple. You the wingman today. I got a couple with me right now. I've written 5. Okay. My latest project is We Are Engaged Now for the to Obey Before You Get Married. Nice. I got this inspiration in September. And after I preached, I had a conversation with a wedding event planner, and she asked me, did I have something like this for couples that are about to be married? Because she helps people prepare for a day, but what about the length of your marriage? And so I was like, the Lord dropped in my spirit. He said, you got to put this together. So it took me 30 days, and we produced this book. My next to the last project is Walk in Purpose and Grow Rich, and I'm doing a 30-day challenge around this workbook, Walk in Purpose and Grow Rich, a practical guide to discovering your purpose. And the next challenge we're going to do is from my other book, I Declare Love, which we produced during First Picture Periscope, and it's a 21-day journal or devotional book to love yourself, because the next challenge is going to be called the ugly challenge. You got to love yourself. And so I'm just encouraged, and I'm so proud of my books, because my very first book, I won an award 10 years ago, and I'm going to go back to Dallas with this book. It's going to be up for an award as well. And my very first book is Living Motivated, The Beatitudes of Living a Motivated Life. And I'm really proud of that book as well. So to answer your question, I have 5 books that I have authored.
Boom. So this leads me to my next question. So, once you start a momentum, like once you get on Periscope, you're kind of doing it and you're consistent. Once you start writing, you kind of have a system and you're consistent. Once you start church, you go every Sunday, you're consistent. What was your momentum that got you to the place that made you Dr. Walter Sims now?
Well, that is such a powerful question. And like I said earlier, when we were talking about, how's your week been? I play Madden football, and so I've been online playing Madden for several years, and I got a gang of guys that I hang out with, and there was a crew that I had several years ago, and at that particular time, I was just going through some things at work. It wasn't really feeling it. I had some financial things going on. And one evening, I was talking to one of my buddies in Reno, Nevada, which I married him and his wife 6 years ago. And I said, Nevada, what else could I do? Being a pastor, being an engineer, and all the things I got going on. What can I do? And he said, well, Dr. Sims, what else is a pastor but a life coach? Light went off. Bells started ringing. I'm like, oh. And I talk about this in my first book. And from that conversation, Anthony and Terry, from that conversation, launched everything. I got my first coach. I started my business, and this is all January 2010. I got my coaching certification over the Christmas holiday 2009 in like 3 days.
Nice.
And me and Tanoa and I are still great friends to this day. She's my coach, my mentor, and so that's why I understand. Once you get in your lane, once you discover and realize your purpose, that sweet spot that you got to be in this thing called life. It doesn't matter what the climate is. It doesn't matter what the crisis is. It doesn't matter what life throws at you. You're living on purpose. And we all laud and praise people that have arrived and living on purpose. And we look at them with these starry eyes and like they're some alien or superhero. But all they decided to do one day, Anthony and Terry, is to live on purpose.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that.
Nice.
Where AD?
Listen.
AD's the OCD one around here. So he has a question.
I dig in because I always like people that have positioned themselves for purpose and walk in their purpose. So I love kind of digging in just to kind of get the mechanics of your thinking. So do you ever during your journey, right? Have you ever got swayed to the left or the right in the course of finding your purpose? Like, have you questioned, am I in the right spot? Am I doing the right thing?
Man, AD, you must have just peeled back my brain, man.
That's kind of what he does. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wrote an article. Terry gave his age a few moments ago, so I don't mind sharing my digits. I'm 53 and a half now. I'll be 54 in June.
Okay, before you go any further, stop it. Okay, did you just say 53 and a half?
53 and a half.
If you don't put that, ain't no such thing as no half.
Hey man, don't take my half from me.
Don't take that half away. He's not there yet. He ain't there yet.
I'm 53 in 6 months. Get out of here.
I love you guys. I thank y'all so much for having me today. When I turned 50, I wrote an article about some of the things I've learned in 50 years. And one of the things I regret, because I learned this, my father died, it'll be 5 years in August, and he was my pastor. I mean, we were at Mount Zion in Birmingham, Alabama for 48 years, before he died. He was my pastor. And that's why I flow so well in the Word of God, because I mean, it's all I know. I'm a preacher's kid.
Right.
And so when I was 17, I wrote an article. I had to do a research paper in my senior year before we graduated, and I did it on electrical engineering.
Okay.
I was good in math and science, and everybody had been telling me, you're going to be a preacher just like your daddy, just like your daddy, just like your daddy. So I ran from it. And so I said, let me do electrical engineering because I'm good in math and science. And so 5 years and 1 quarter, I got my Bachelor of Science in electrical engineering. A lot of my friends graduated magna cum laude, summa cum laude. I graduated thank you, Lord.
I know that's right.
So from that point, I got my engineering degree. I finally got a job down in Dothan, Alabama at a nuclear plant, and I spent 30 years.
Wow.
And in the midst of those 30 years, I finally accepted my calling to the ministry a year into my engineering career in Dothan, Alabama. And one of the things I wrote, Anthony and Terry, about getting in your lane as soon as you can, because I missed some opportunities with my father if I had gotten in this lane a lot sooner, there's no telling where I would be right now. You know what I'm saying? And so the danger we face when we don't get in the lane and we climb the wrong mountain, which is the challenge I'm doing now. The danger you face, you slow down your progress. And you just may miss God and miss the people God has assigned to you when you delay getting in the right lane.
That's a word right there. Delay.
But thank you, Lord. That's a good word. I like that.
All right, Terry. I know you got something. Let you ride.
Well, my questions are funny because me and Doc go back, so years. So
that's right.
Here's my first question. That smile that for those of you guys that a little bit of backdrop on Dr. Sims, he carries a smile that's as wide as London Bridge, right? He's always if the sun hit his tooth just right, baby, we're gonna be buying some people. So, Pastor Walter Sims, how long you been sporting that smile? It's kind of that smile.
Yeah, man, it's just, it's my signature, I get it from my mom's. She's like that, we kind of talk every day, every other day. She, as a matter of fact, she just called me while we're broadcasting. She just called me, got it from my mom's, and and that's why I love how you handle your son. I love how Anthony, the kind of father he is. Your upbringing is so powerful, and again, that's an entirely different broadcast that we come back talking about family. It's just the environment we grew up in. We weren't rich, and I'm sure all of us people of color can attest to that. We didn't grow up rich, but I'm so glad Mama raised me on cornbread and black-eyed peas with a little bit of ham. Come on, somebody. So it's just, it's my upbringing. Daddy was he was a hustler. He was a preacher. The light stayed on. I remember riding in one of his cars. It had a hole in the back. You talking about that lean and trampoline? We had to ride in the back seat, me and my brothers, in the back seat of a car that had a hole in the floorboard. We could see the road. Y'all don't hear me. And my daddy, the gas gauge didn't work. So every other trip, we had to stop and get a little bit of gas so we wouldn't run out. And I just said all that to say my mom and dad had never complained. We never went to bed hungry. And my mama would always say, regardless of what we were going through, mama would always say, and I reminded her of this now, mama would always say, everything is going to be all right, little Walter. Everything going to be all right. And so I believe, to answer your question, Terry, and it's a powerful question, I just believe the way we were brought up. Like I said, Mama never had a flip word to say to my dad. It was only one time, Anthony and Terry, only one time I can remember, and they were married 50 years before he died. I can remember one time Mama was flipped with Daddy. It's when I announced my calling to the ministry. I went into the bedroom, sat on the bed, and I said, Daddy, the Lord spoke to me like he told me when I was 17. And I asked him, how would a man know God called him? He said, when he does, you'll know. And I said, Daddy, God called me. And my daddy was gruff, man, because everybody always bragged on me and was propping me up. And they would mess with him because they would always say, your son can preach, Dr. Sam. Your son is bad, Dr. Sam. And my daddy was gruff. He said, being a preacher ain't no popularity contest. Because, I'm that guy. I'm kind of a showboat, and I love attention. I love the spotlight. And so my dad was like, preaching ain't no popularity contest. And my mama chimed in, fellas. And my mama said, she leaned up on the bed and she looked at my dad. She said, well, you a preacher. And she laid back down. This is the way you were brought up, man.
Drop that mic right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a mic dropper all day. AD, go ahead. One more.
So now you have your church building. Well, of course, right now we're out, but you have your local church. So what is it like being a pastor? What is it like motivating your people? Because as a motivational speaker, it's kind of easy in a sense, coaching and motivating from a distance. But when you got your people right there, pastoring and leading and in their lives and all of the mess they got to go through, and you can see the junk they're going through, and you're like, if you kind of get rid of the junk, you would stop coming up to this altar for that same mess. So what is it like? What is it like leading your flock or being a pastor?
Well, I can quote my dad here because that's where his perspective was when he told me that being a pastor, being a preacher is not a popularity contest, because as I was growing as a pastor, as a young pastor, and I was sharpening my preaching tools, and we would have conversations, my dad had told me, he said preaching is the easy part because you're delivering a message. He said that's 5% of what we have to do. The other 95% is dealing with people. And the reason I'm such a great life coach is because I have a pastor's heart.
Wow.
And to answer your question, Anthony and Terry, to be a good pastor, you have to care about people.
Legit.
And the Lord revealed this to me when I was tripping, when we were sitting here watching people hoard toilet paper and hand sanitizer. The Lord dropped in my spirit. He said, that's why I refer to people as sheep. Now, when you just hear this in the physical, in the natural, well, why God compare us to sheep? We ain't no dumb animal. No. The upside of that is twofold.
Right.
We are trusting,
Right.
and we're anxious.
Right.
And so as I have grown as a pastor, I understand that people need nurturing. Yeah. I don't necessarily preach a lot of fire, brimstone. And I've grown from that. And there's only two places. That's a conversation. But to be there for people when they're going through something, they love listening and seeing somebody that's genuine. To steal one of your words, Anthony, they know that I care about them because we're a huggy feely church. We hug and we make people feel at home. It's a small church, but my reach, my deacon did how far my reach goes during one of my anniversaries. And he said, even though our pastor is pastoring a small church, his reach is phenomenal. Right. And because I got my message airs on Sunday on the local radio station that I was a DJ on several years ago. Okay. And so the greatest thing that I've learned being a pastor is that you got to care about people and those things that they go through on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? Right. And it's so much greater than just browbeating people with the Bible.
Yes.
Right. And I've grown to understand that when people say they're going through something, and Anthony, to your point, it would be nice to say that people just get over stuff. That'll make my job really easy. But people are dealing with stuff, Anthony and Terry. People are dealing with stuff. Just like when Terry met me for the first time on his couch, and he was lamenting the state of his life, and he heard a voice. And I probably said something along these lines. Everything is going to be all right. You just got to hold on. I know it's dark right now. But hold on a little while. Woo.
You know what? Now that I think about it, it was something just like that. So let me first shout out Sweet Bethel down there in Alabama.
There you go. There you go.
Because they are a great church, and I watch them every single Sunday. As I watch everybody else, I try to get everybody in on a Sunday. It's always time to get y'all live. You know what I'm saying? I can watch a replay. I'm like,
the best part of this whole quarantine is you can visit everybody's church.
Everybody the same
one day.
And you know, some fellas, and that's again, that's why I just love our journey, because all of that we were doing in 2016, and I'm about to celebrate my 5th year live streaming in 2015. It's 2020, May of 2020 now. So I'm about to celebrate my 5th year. All that we did then, Terry and Anthony, has prepared us for right now. And so while a lot of other pastors are kind of scrambling to live stream, man, I hit a button. I'm ready.
He on OBS and everything. So now, Pastor, before we cut out of here, I want to Dr. Sims, I want you to tell the people how they can reach you. I think I got one of your links scrolling across the bottom of the screen there. Tell me if I got that right.
That's right.
Dr. Sims, how could the folks get a hold of you?
Well, it's real easy. You know, I tell I was in the grocery store the other day, and I was kind of talking about what I'm doing now and online and everything. And one of the cashiers said, "Well, how do I follow you? How do I watch you? How do I get in touch with you?" I said, "Well, all you got to do, if you forget," and I wrote everything down and gave her a card. I said, "If you forget and lose the card, you can just Google me because I'm Google-ish." And so just at Dr. Walker Sims, that's easy, at Dr. Walker Sims, and that'll pull everything up. And drwalkersims.com, drwalkersims.tv. And we've been talking about how do you live on purpose, how do you stay sharp. The S of sharp, we talked about this last week, is synergize everything. Everything ought to fit tightly together. When you have a social media footprint, it should be synergistic, meaning it all should fit together. So when you type in Dr. Walker Sims, everything will pop up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
His website is awesome. Just look for the Cheshire Cat smile, and you'll know it's him. Automatic. All right. And so, of course, you guys can follow us every week here on Charm City Direct TV. But the Brothers Who Talk. Also, you can check us out on YouTube here in the next couple of days. AD does edit that, and it goes on that page. Follow the Brothers of Legacy. Also, this podcast will be found on all the podcast platforms, podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, you name it. But do me a favor: if you go to any of these platforms and you listen to an episode, which I want you to do, make sure you download and subscribe. The download is the key word there. Okay. Comment and leave a review if you're on Apple.
If you're on Apple, leave us 5 stars.
All right.
It's all good, but leave us 2 stars.
Also, this guy down at the bottom, him and his wife have a show that comes on Mondays and Wednesdays on Facebook called Purpose for Forever. We talked about purpose earlier in this show. Purpose for Forever, him and his wife at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all check them out. And I think the Quarantine Chronicles that come on Wednesday at 8 o'clock. So make sure you go ahead and watch those guys. The Brothers Who Talk website is coming soon. As soon as I get my guy, I'm about to put the 2-piece on him real quick. And that is going to do it. Dr. Sims, your Bitly link, the Docmo Zone. What is that? I was
basically to work with a life coach it's an investment. But I've designed something that's affordable. It's a monthly subscription. And you follow me, you get some emails once a week. Right. We have a monthly stream in one of my private coaching groups, and it's just a way to allow me to be accessible and affordable at the same time. Yeah,
he's a great dude. Listen to me, and I know this from personal experience. I'm not just shooting some stuff. I just got somebody off the street to come on the show. Listen, I know this man personally.
Amen.
And if you are in a place to where you think you need to talk to someone, a life coach, get you back on track, I'm telling you, that's the guy. Always point wrong. Yeah,
I do too.
The Brady Bunch.
The Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch.
Okay, Jamie Foxx. All right, we're gonna get out of here, but you guys have a great and wonderful weekend. On purpose. Shout out to Coach Vic. That's her saying. I just say it. I think it's cool. AD, what's your closing?
You said my closing? Yeah. Know that purpose is in you, greatness is before you, and destiny is waiting. All right,
man. You guys have a great one. We'll see you. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Thank you for watching and listening to the Brothers Who Talk. Brothers Who Talk with Terry and AD. Check us out again next week, where we bring you a steaming helping of common sense, laughs, and advice. We can be found on any podcasting platform, iTunes, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. We're also on milehighradio.com, Saturdays at 12 Eastern. See you there.